turn the light down? Nope. Oh, Lord, 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 have mercy. Am I still too bright? Okay. Put a little something on my... Oh boy, that's really warm. This is sugar and honey. Funny, it kind of reminds me of the new Dose of Colors. One of the lipstick colors. What's it called? More Creamer, Please? I guess this gives me an idea of how that color will look on me. Really warm. But we're gonna try it. Okay. I love Fresh's Sugar line. The heck is in my tooth? There's something right in my tooth. There's something right there. Okay, let's see here. Weird. Okay. This is what we're digging into today. I'm almost afraid to, with everything that's been said about this. I just got this. As you can see, it's never been touched. This is the second palette that I had delivered to me, because you probably can't see, but this one's all broken out on the edge here. And this one came good. The first one came, yeah, not in good shape. It was abolished, completely smushed. Hang on here. I'm looking for... I am going to try setting my eyelids with a little bit of this Makeup Forever. This is literally my new favorite powder. This is the Ultra HD Micro Finishing Loose Powder. Oh my god, you guys, I'm not kidding you. I love this powder. It is so fine, and it just, oh, I just love it. If you have mature skin, I'm telling you, you need to try this powder, because it just, oh man, it works beautifully. I mean, just for the hell of it. Here, let's put a little bit under my eyes. I just love this powder. Oh my god, I love it, I love it, I love it. It fills in fine lines. It smooths out the skin beautifully. As you can probably see, the powder just ghosting away as I pat it under my eyes here. Doesn't do much for your traditional baking, but god, it's a beautiful powder. Okay, but what I was thinking is, I've heard so many people talk about how these don't blend good and yada yada yada. And so I thought, well, I'm gonna try putting this down as a base rather than just another eyeshadow, because this powder has a lot of silica in it, which is what helps things blend. So I'm thinking, let's lay down a powder with a bunch of silica and see if that makes a difference. Okay. Love this powder. This is the container it comes in. They have a pressed one I want to get. This is the most finely milled, softest powder I've ever used. I have dry skin. It does not sink in. It doesn't, you know, it just, the best way to describe it is it fills in areas you want it to fill in. It has a real smoothing effect on the skin, but it doesn't suck all the moisture out of my skin. Okay. Oh, look at the powder flying out of that. I mean, look at that. I'm sure you can probably see that. Holy cow. I wasted an enormous amount of it, though. That's the only thing that kind of stinks about it, is because it's so finely milled. Okay. Oh god, I'm almost afraid to touch this palette. Now I want to play with it for a little bit since I literally just received it, and I want to mess around with it before I give my, then I'll do a full recorded review on it. I don't know. What I don't understand is, and I'll talk more about it in the review, take that out, in the review I do, but, I don't know if you guys know anything about how the color wheel works, but a lot of people have been complaining that when they mix colors in this, colors from this palette, that they start to just kind of gray out. And that can happen, like for instance, these two here, these are complementary colors because this is a green, this is a red. Where's my color wheel? I hadn't planned on talking about this today. Oh hell, what'd I do with my color wheel? Hang on. I think I stuck it in my box over here. Yep, there it is. This is really handy. Excuse me. This is a really handy little guide to have. If you guys ever want to find out, and they're cheap. I mean, literally, you can buy these for like, $1 or something. I think I got this one on Amazon. But anyways, when you look at the color wheel, when I say complementary colors, like this is a red and this is a green, they're opposite one another on the color wheel. Just like blue is opposite orange and purple is opposite yellow. So the theory is if you mix colors that are complementary colors, they'll neutralize each other, so they'll gray out. Now, when it comes to this palette, what I don't understand, well, there's a lot of things I don't understand, but I don't understand why, they've kind of changed their tune on this palette now. Originally they said this palette was going to be for, I believe, the Instagram, for their Instagram community, which on the whole is the general makeup user and the general makeup consumer. And I'll go into that more in my full review that I do on this. But if you look in here, like for instance, there's blues and oranges. This is blue, this is orange based. This is, even though this looks almost black, it's purple. Has a lot of purple in it. So there's purple and yellow, there's green and red. It just, and a lot of these, what's interesting is that when I heard Norvina talk about this palette, she said there were 2 cool tone shadows in here. I don't know if I'm colorblind, but this looks cool tone, this looks cool tone, that certainly looks cool tone, this looks cool tone, this looks cool tone. So I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, I just, a lot of these, a couple of these maybe border on neutral, like Mercury. It looks real gray there because of how much gray's in it, but it's kind of a, I don't know. Anyways, and supposedly all colors in this palette except for Fudge, sorry for the mirror, except for Fudge are brand new. I'm going to say all colors in this palette are brand new. Because I have messed with this palette before. My girlfriend got it on the very original release from Anastasia, and this Fudge is definitely not the same as the Fudge in her palette, in the palette I have of hers. So, and again, I'll show all that in the review. But anyways, I really don't understand, are they beautiful colors? Yeah, they are. But if you're designing a palette, now they've changed their tune and said that this is a palette that was designed for the pro makeup user. To me, that's just kind of, no disrespect to ABH, Norvina, but I think that's just kind of a let's cover our ass type thing, because this is not a palette that was designed for the pro makeup user. I mean, obviously any brand wants the pro makeup community using their products, but this palette very clearly was designed for the general makeup community. It was marketed as the sister to Modern Renaissance. The packaging even tells you that. Even if they didn't tell you that verbally, the package tells you that. Everything about it, even the back picturing, everything about it looks identical to the Modern Renaissance packaging, even the sticker on the back, except for the colors. So, you know, I've got a lot to say about that, because I think the marketing of this palette is where they really, one of the big problems that they really started off with. But another thing, I don't know. I'm really thrown off by some of these colors, and the reason why is because, like for instance, Cube up here. This palette to me, except for over here, these two colors, this palette screams fall. This does not look like a summer palette to me, and it doesn't look like any other season. It literally looks like a fall palette to me. And this Cube over here is supposed to be a pink duochrome, but it's just, I mean, that's not here, sorry, it's this right here. I'll show better swatches when, and what's really weird in feeling this does not feel the same, and it doesn't even look the same as the palette my girlfriend has. Hers, the Cube is straight up pink. This almost looks peach. I don't know if you can see that. It doesn't look pink at all. What the heck? And it feels different. Because the palette that, again, she has the palette that was the first launch release from ABH. She actually purchased hers from ABH. And the Cube in her palette self-seals when you rub on it. It feels very wet. It just is not good. This feels completely different, and the color looks different. Let's try electric. Wow. What palette do I have here? Hang on, I want to see what run I have. I have P7, so that's the one that, interesting. That's a beautiful color. Look at that. Now see, to me, these two colors, I mean, depending on, because of what's in this color, you know, it looks like it's got some green, maybe some orange. It's really a pretty color. Some golds, you know, it's got like a orangey brown base to it with a green gold reflect. It's really a pretty color. But to me, these two colors, these two duochromes, this one is completely out of place in this palette, in my opinion. I just don't know what they were thinking with that. I would have much rather, if I just, you know, that's not something I'm ever going to use. I don't even know what to use that for. This one here, because of how the color plays out of it, you know, you can place it on top of other colors and change the look of it. So, you know, that one, maybe. But these two just seem really out of place in this palette to me. I do want to try Adorn. Oh, wow. Now, see, that one, the only actual metallic in the palette, it feels wet. There it is. Look at that. And you can see the difference in pigmentation between the two of those. That duochrome really reflects beautifully off the light. I mean, it actually has a better reflect than Adorn does, but the pigmentation's not very good in comparison. Anyway, so, you know, I'm kind of, you know, when it comes to the colors of this palette, I'm really iffy. And just because of the way that it's laid out, this is not, in my opinion, a palette that's general consumer friendly at all. Just in the experience I've had working with it. And again, you know, I only sat down for a couple hours and worked with my girlfriend's palette because mine was taking forever to get here. So now I'm actually going to try. Well, let's see what she does. Okay, I'm going to start off. Hang on here, let me get a... And sorry, that was my mirror. I do want to start off with a very fluffy, oh, for God's sakes, go away. All these messages popping up. I'm going to start off with my Sigma E35. Oops. God. Stop with the messages. And I want to just go into Dawn right here. It's, oh, wow. Oh, my God. I mean, guys, that's ridiculous. I hardly touched it. Look at that. I mean, I'm not kidding you. I'm hardly touching it. This one's even worse than hers was. Wow, okay, well, let's see. Let's see what she does. And I've heard that a lot of people have complained that, wow, I mean, this is the amount of kickback I'm getting in this, and I'm literally barely touching it, that's just ridiculous. I mean, who wants that? You know, I can understand, you know, their comments. Actually, you know what? I'm going to move to my Wayne Goss brushes because I want to see if it makes... Oh, wow. It doesn't make a difference. Look at that. Am I an expert? In what way, honey? I'm not an expert in makeup, no. Not by any means. I'm not sure if you're asking the question sincerely or not. It's hard to tell when somebody just writes something. So if you're asking if I'm an expert in makeup, by no means. I'm just somebody who's had a lot of experience with makeup and loves makeup. Anyways, I've heard people talk about how the colors change as well, and I have some tests that I've done on this palette with I just can't believe the kick up on this is insane. Anyways, I've done some tests on this with different bases, and I think I don't know, I think I've got a pretty good idea of what's causing that to happen, what's causing the pigment to, because if you watch some people's videos, like, you know, pigment sticks to a certain area and doesn't adhere to another, and in my personal opinion, at least from what I've been testing on my own with my girlfriend's palette, because it was completely, she just wanted to do all kinds of things testing it, and it's kind of pretty much destroyed. So basically what we did is, and I'll show all that in my main review, but we tried different bases. We tried, like for instance, you know, some people have oily skin, and even though they put a base on to try and block that oil, it's impossible to block the oils. Well, that's wonderful. I'm glad. That's great that you got, your daughter gets it to work beautifully. I'm not criticizing anybody who, you know, if people have good experience with this palette, then all the more to them. And this is my first time working with this particular palette. I have worked with another one, but this is my first time working with this palette. So, and I'm certainly going to attempt several different looks with it and see what I get out of it. You know, I'm not knocking it right now. I do think there are problems with it though. And, you know, as a reviewer, I think that's kind of, I think it'd be irresponsible of me to not talk about the good parts. You know, if I talk about the good of it, I need to talk about things that I see as weaknesses of it. And I think there are several weaknesses in this palette. Anyways, but what I noticed when we were doing these different tests is that even, like, for instance, I applied some oil on my eyelid. I used a Smashbox primer oil, and I used a beauty blender and just pat the oil in, and so that there was no visible oil on the skin, and then I used a primer over it and then applied it. It applied completely different. than it did to my other eye. It stuck in patches. And the other thing too is I'm noticing is that these shadows apply different according to temperature. It's really, you'll see it in my review, in my full review, because I've been, like I said, doing a lot of testing on this and recording it, so I don't know what to say other than it's a new experience for me, you know, so, but that's kind of, you know, it's fun to have not everything be the same and have something kind of challenge you once in a while. And I am going in very, very light with this because of the amount of pigment. We'll see what she does. Anyways, what I was going to say about, you know, I've heard a lot of people talk about the color wheel in regards to this palette and how, you know, of course, if you use complementary colors, that they're going to neutralize each other. And that's another thing that I'm going to go into Roxy right here. That's another thing that I go over in detail in my upcoming review too, because I show demonstrations from other palettes where I use complementary colors and don't have them neutralize each other. So I don't think it's just the issue of color wheel and colors neutralizing each other that's the issue with this. I think it's kind of comes down to the formula more than anything. And you know, I don't know, you know, I'm not doing a chemist breakdown of this. That is not in my experience or knowledge, but I will say that, you know, it's pretty obvious that when you go from a 19 ingredient deck approximately to a 7, it's, you know, something's missing, something's sure changed. So far, so good. This Roxy's very pretty color. They definitely are pigmented. That's a very pretty color. You know, it's unfortunate that people get so defensive about this, though. I just don't understand it. I mean, it's makeup, people, you know. It's not like, I mean, you know, I'm not even online for 5 minutes, and, you know, people think I'm coming at the palette. I mean, I just don't understand that. I'm on here, you know, playing with this particular palette for the first time. I'm not, you know, I'm not coming at the palette. I'm not ripping it apart. I'm not out here to, you know, disparage it or... I don't know. I don't understand why people are so... Not everyone, obviously, but... I just don't understand why people are so reactive about it. It's a frickin' makeup. It's a damn makeup palette, you know, eyeshadow palette. That's it. It's nothing that... I don't know. Just don't quite get that. Now I will notice, like, for instance, when I'm laying down, you know, it's not going to show as good, unfortunately, on my phone here as it would if I was, you know, recording with my good camera. But when I'm laying down the color, I am noticing that it has a tendency, the pigment is what I'm speaking of when I say it, the pigment has a tendency to adhere right where I'm putting it. And I'm going very, very light. I'm using a very light hand. I'm using extremely soft brushes. I mean, these are Wayne Goss his brushes, so they don't get a whole lot softer than this. And I'm being very gentle in how much I apply, how much product. I mean, I'm barely dipping in and then tapping off, so. And again, I think that has to do, at least in my experience, I think that has to do with the fact that, with the formula, because it's, the best way I can describe it is, you know, I mean, try taking, I don't know if you've ever taken a pure pigment before, and, you know, take a little area on your hand and put a little, you know, wet it a little bit, and then, you know, have a dry area of your hand and put the pure pigment, you know, put a stripe of it over the wet and then put a stripe of it over the dry, and you'll see the way it, you know, the different way in which it sticks and adheres to the skin. And I think these are so, the pigment is so concentrated, yeah, along with the fact that, you know, the ingredient deck is so basic on these. I think what happens is that if there's any moisture on your skin or even any difference in temperature, it's, you know, I think that's why you're seeing, because like for instance, when I'm looking at this right now, I can see it's much, the color's much darker here. It looks real nice and blended here, but then right here, I have an area where it's not sticking to my skin real good, and then it's dark up here. Now this is, you know, you're not seeing a lot of people, at least from what I've seen, talk about Dawn, Roxy, New Wave, and Edge having a lot of that problem, and I think part of the reason of that is because they're lighter shades, and you're not, because they're so much lighter, you know, you're not seeing the inconsistencies in them and how they, you know, and how they stick to the skin as compared when you use the darker shades. But when I get up close, I can definitely see it. Like, I don't know if you guys can, but this whole area right here is not sticking to my skin like it is everywhere else. I mean, there's actually a whole stripe right there. So, and that's Roxy. And like I said, I'm being very gentle with these. They're beautiful. I mean, you know, when they blend beautifully. They really do. I really, more than anything, because of how much I, like for instance, this right here, I've got a, just to show you, I've got a patch right here that's just got a hard line that I can't get to blend, that just doesn't want to blend out. So, you know, more than anything, I just wish that Anastasia had stuck with the formula that they had with the Modern Renaissance and truly come out with a sister palette, because I think this would have been incredible if, you know, these colors in the Modern Renaissance formula, I think would have been absolutely beautiful. But in my experience so far with this palette, it is not one, again, in my experience, it is not a palette where you can put together quick looks. Like right now even, can you guys see how right here, how much darker it is in my crease? Now not only is that that's shadow that's being cast, but when I lift my eyelid, you can still see how much darker. It's actually darkening on my eye. That's the same color that I have everywhere else here in the crease, but right here, and you notice where it's happening right in the crease. That's what I noticed the most. Now if you think about it, right in the crease here in the hood of my eye, that's where you're going to have what, the most moisture buildup, and no matter if you have primer on, and yes I do have primer on, that's where you're going to have the most moisture buildup, and that's where you're going to have the most temperature buildup. And these shadows, I really believe the pigments are reacting to those two things, and that's why, you know, people are saying they're oxidizing and stuff like that. I believe that's why, is because they're reacting to, they're so sensitive. The formula in this is so basic that it's not very stable, in my opinion, and because of that it reacts to everything else. Okay, I do want to try, let's see here. So I'm going with, we got the oranges going. So anything that's got blue in it, we're going to stay away from for now. I'm looking at my color wheel trying to kind of decide what I want to do with. So the split complementary is green and red. Yeah. I do want to use that electric in a look, in this look. So I'm trying to think of what. Well, let's try going for some greens. I probably should tell you what brushes I've been using. By the way, just to let you know real quick, for Dawn, which I did all over for my initial laydown shade, I used the Wayne Goss number 3, and then, well, I started off with the Sigma E35, but then I went to my Wayne Goss, and then I went to, for Roxy, I switched over to, let's see where to go. I switched over to my Wayne Goss number 4. And I think now I'm going to take a kind of a, well, do I want to use a smaller one? Let me think here. Yeah, I do. I'm actually going to use my Wayne Goss 18, kind of a little packer brush here. And let me think here. I think I'm going to go into Destiny first. Oh, wow. These are just so delicate. I mean, they're just so delicate. And I'm going to just pat this. The other thing I noticed with these shadows is that they work or perform in terms of blending. They blend a lot better, in my experience, rather than using your typical windshield wiper motion, if you pat. Pat, 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 pat. And again, that's just my experience, because I notice that the more that you go back and forth with these, you just end up picking the pigment up. I just don't think, and again, in my opinion, I can't stress that enough, I believe that is a formula issue. They just don't have enough binders in them to adhere to the eye properly. So okay, so we're just patting Destiny all over my eyelid. It's like an army green color, a lot of gray in it. So no wonder that a lot of these shadows, even, you know, because I mean, I'm finding even when I use colors that aren't complementary to each other, they have a tendency to gray out. And it's a no wonder. Some of these colors have very, very heavy gray bases in them, like this one. I'm gonna bring that up a little higher. Now, I've never tried these colors together, so we'll see. How they turn out. Very delicate. Oh, I just went too far there. That's the other thing too, is boy, you can really make mistakes very, very fast with this palette. Like I just did there. sounds ridiculous, but my God, I'm almost nervous. I mean, it's very nerve-wracking. Now I'm just going to try real gently to blend these, but I'm not going to do a lot of back and forth. I'm going to do a lot of patting. Because see that? I mean, they literally blend just patting them together. And I think that would be at least my advice for people maybe having a difficult time. Like, watch this side. I'm just going to pat. If you're having a difficult time working this palette and getting the colors to blend, now I don't have, right now I have no color on this brush. It's just a clean brush. And I'm just patting it. Because I've noticed that the more that I go in and try to apply these like I would my normal method, which is that typical back and forth windshield wiper motion, yeah. I mean, you can even see, like, just patting here how much color I've lost right there. So I'll just go back in and build that up in just a second here. I'm using the Viramona color switch, just want to get all the color off. Okay, so we're going back to the Wayne Goss 18 and back into Destiny. I mean, these really are beautiful shadows. I think it's just a matter of learning how to work with them. That's just, that's my experience with it. And not using too much. Because they just blend away and, just pat. Pat, pat, pat. Okay, let's see here. I do want to take a little bit of that green down the lower lash line. So I'm going to take the Wayne Goss 05 little pencil brush here, just a little bit, and I'm going to extend this down onto my lower lash line about halfway. But I will be doing more looks with this and trying out different, different techniques and such like that. I think I need... Sorry, I'm just looking back and forth. I'm going to go back in here. Just build this up a little more because I am going to be putting electric over this. At least that's my goal. So I really want the pigment to be dense. But I cannot stress enough how much better, again, in my experience, if somebody will come on and tell me, oh, that doesn't work for me, or that's not the way you do it, or in my experience, these shadows just perform, I'm telling you, if you get in there with a blending brush and go to town like you normally would, you're gonna, it's just adios, because away they'll go. You'll end up with blank spots on your lid, and I don't know if you guys can see, but when I take just a normal, nice soft blending brush and I just pat along where the division of color is here, see how nicely that blends into the other color? It diffuses real nice and blends in real nice. Whereas, you know, if I went in and tried to do that with the normal way I would, with the windshield wiper motions, I need to correct this because this side went up a little too high. Anyways, they, like I said, they just disappear. I'm going back in with a little Roxy, and I'm going to try and, there, see, I just corrected that one area. I mean, these shadows are so pigmented, you can literally, I mean, I'm using an orange over a green and it corrected it. Does that tell you something? Good God. I mean, that's just insane. I will say though, this, you know, unless you're just wanting to do like a quick lay down of color, you know, maybe you want to just do a, I mean, you guys are seeing real time how long this is taking me to get comfortable with how it looks before I move on. Now, that might not be that way for everyone, but, you know, this is not a palette that I personally, unless, you know, like I said, unless I'm doing, you know, I'm just gonna quick slam down some Roxy and put a little fudge in the crease. You know, if this is a palette that I really want to actually create a look with, I need time. I'm just, you know, call it my lack of skill, call it whatever you want, but I just, you know, I can't sit down and pound out a look with this palette. It just takes, I mean, you can see, to get it to where I want it, I'm back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Add more pigment. You know, blend it out a little more. Add more pigment again. Blend it out a little more. I mean, it's kind of a, I would describe this more as a build your eyeshadow look, as opposed to just quickie in and out. Okay. And that, so far, is what the shadows look like. And I've used, which ones did I frickin' use? Sorry. I've used Dawn, Roxy, and what is that one called? Destiny. It's a real pretty color. It looks off here. I mean, it's definitely an army green. I'm not sure what it's showing up on my cell phone here. You know, when I show these on my my camera, you know, my good camera, you'll be able to get a better shot. But look, I mean, look at how much is dug out of that already. And I was very, I mean, you can see the pits in these already, and that one's significant. And this is, now remember, you guys saw, this is the first time I'm using this palette. Now, in my opinion, that's insane. I should not have holes in my palette when all I've done is this. And I'm being incredibly gentle. I'm not somebody who's going to come on camera and go, oh look, oh look. I have no problem with other people who have done that, but honest to God, I don't want to waste my fucking palette doing that. I didn't spend 42 bucks on this so that I could get online and show you how it falls apart. It's not going to happen. Okay, so we've got green. Let's go back to our color wheel and see what I can work with that isn't going to fuck it up. So if I add blue, no, I don't want to do that. And I don't want to add red because that'll just neutralize. Sorry, here. Just give me a minute. I'm trying to decide what I want to add. Because this isn't a true green, so I kind of have to, it's not even, it's like a gray green. It's like at the bottom of the yellow-green the yellow spectrum. what I'm speaking of is clear down here at the bottom. See it's not quite, you know, anyways. Well, no, I don't know, shit. Sorry. Fuck. I don't know what I want to do. I kind of trap myself here. I think I'm going to go in with Untamed just to darken up the outer corner of this one here. I think I'm just going to stick with the greens and see what happens. The thing is this, you know, none of these colors are true. I mean, like, that has a lot of blue in it. Looks like it does, at least. It's hard to tell. But we'll just, you know, it's the thing. That's a good thing about makeup. Play around with it. You don't like it, you can just wash it all off. But I mean, I'm being extremely, extremely delicate with not only getting the shadow out of the pan, but applying them to my eye. Sorry. Now I'm just going to take back with my Wayne Goss 6, and I'm just going to try patting this in. Okay, we're not neutralizing yet, so yeah, pat her in here. And back to my Wayne Goss 18 and Untamed, because I don't like the way this corner is looking. And I'm also going to drag it, oh, damn, under my eye. Wow, it's just, even though I'm whacking the brush, it just keeps coming. Definitely can get frustrating, and this is getting way darker than I originally planned it, but uh-oh. But oh well, fuck it. Fuck it. Okay, I need to do a little correction action. So I'm going to go in with my Wayne Goss 04 and back to Roxy. My battery's going dead.
Ma!
Please don't mommy.
Dinner's gonna be ready soon.
Okay, cool. My daughter's making What are you making? Chicken parmesan tonight?
Mm-hmm.
My little chef in making. And I'm taking this Roxy, actually, I want to drag it into the inner portion here, a little bit on my schnoz. Don't even look at me like that. These are challenging.
You're going for a cut crease?
No, I'm trying to blend it out. Smart Alec. Are you going for a cut crease?
I'm hot.
Yeah, it's definitely hot. Well, I'm gonna quit fuck-a-looking with it, because I'm just gonna make it
that's
worse.
A new one.
Thank you, fuck-a-looking.
I like it.
Okay, I do want to take a little Roxy and Dawn combined around the edge and down here. Yeah, tell me about it, huh? Look at my palette already. Don't. I don't want your germy slobbies on it.
You're germy.
You know, this was blending really nice until now. Now it's given up. That's the other thing I noticed with these, is that you just can't muck with them too much. So I'm just going to pack the color back where I want it on my eyelid. Put my, now let's go back to Destiny. Put my shimmer on and call it a day. I'm not going to muck with it anymore. Because they definitely, they're just, in my experience, they're just those kind of shadows that you just can't muck with a whole lot. You kind of have to just do a look quick and get it done and be done with it. Okay, now I'm going to take my MAC 239 and go into, well, let me try, actually maybe, let me try electric with my finger first. It's a very pretty color, and there's a lot. I mean, look at that. That's a pretty color. There's a lot of flexibility with this color. That's one thing I do like about it, is you can pretty much put it on anything and it'll change the appearance of it. But I'm going to go back. I'm going to go with my MAC and wet my brush. But boy, I do not like how these, see, now this one's sealing over now that I went down a little further with it. Where'd my Fix Plus go? I'll just use this. What the hell? Beautiful color. I just wish that, you know, I may be being picky, but I wish that electric had as much bang to it as Adorn does. That's a really pretty color. Because it just, it's like it's a different, it's like it's a completely different eyeshadow formula than Adorn. It's really different. Well, now there it's really grabbed onto my lid. Holy shoot. Pretty color. I just want more from it. I want more. I know that sounds greedy of me, but when you have a color that's this pretty, you really want everything you can get from it. And see it, you really have to build it up to get that intensity out of it. As you can see with how many times I'm going back and building it up. And this is wet as well. And I'm just destroying the hell out of the pan. I mean, there's a big hole in it already. I can tell you one thing. This would probably be, you know, I'm more of a shimmer gal than I am a matte. I mean, granted, I love my mattes for their own purpose, but I definitely love my metallics, duochromes, shimmers, anything that has sparkle to it. And when it comes to this palette, I just wish that they'd put a few more in here because I like them that much, you know. Because it's kind of disappointing because the couple that are in here are, you know, like I said, Cube. I can't figure out what the hell Cube was all about. I'd love to hear what Norvina had in mind with Cube because it just seems totally out of place. But we're gonna try it. So let's see if I can pick up Cube to begin with. I mean, see, it just doesn't... I know it's kind of hard to see on my phone here, and it seals over so quickly. It just... It's a pain in the ass is what it is. It's not worth it for what it does. It's just not worth it. I mean, I'm literally painting the entire inside of my inner tear duct area here with it, and do you see it? Well, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna finish up here. I'm hurrying. I'm gonna go back to my Wayne Goss 18 and Untamed and just see that shadow completely disappeared off there just because I made contact with it when I was packing on the pain in the ass, I tell you. And I'm gonna go back to Destiny and just add a little bit there to kind of blend that. And just trying to really gently clean this up a little. God, this palette's just a mess. I don't know. I'm just making it worse. Okay, so just to show you, here's what my palette looks like after one use. And you can see Roxy here, and look at, I mean, I don't know if you guys can really see the scope of the hole that's in that, but it's significant. As well as, look at here. Just let the shadows play and you can see. I mean, it's just this palette. This one's not as bad, even though there's, you know, holes in that too. I didn't use any of the other ones. But I mean, look at that. That's, to me, look at that one. I mean, that's just not the way, that's not what I want from an eyeshadow palette. You know, I want something that's, holy cow, I just touched New Wave and look at that. Wow, these are really... I mean, you don't even really want to touch them because they're just so damn fragile. Okay, let's see here. Do I like the look that came out of it? No. Did I to begin with? Yeah, I liked it to begin with. But then it started doing this. And no matter how much I try and... Oh. No matter how much I try and get that to blend in right there. I mean, it's just, I've never seen shadows that a light one can cover a dark one like that. That is an absolute first for me. I mean, like, I just to try and kind of clean up that area that looks so icky there. Icky. That's a good term. I put Dawn down and it completely covered Untamed. That, yeah. Well, whatever. Anyways, so that's what she looks like after one use. So I'm gonna let's slap on some mascara. Where's my mascara? You know what? I am not gonna use waterproof because I'm gonna be taking this off. Unfortunately, I just, you know, I want to play with it some more to... Where the hell is my mascara? I do want to play with it some more, but I don't know. It's not something I'm extremely... It's not my favorite, let's just say that. What the heck happened? Hang on, I gotta get my mascara. Today's tie-dye day, and for me, in case you didn't notice me wearing all my tie-dye. So what do you guys think of this? Have you tried it? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear if you've tried this palette. And if you have, what your thoughts are on it. If you haven't tried it, do you plan to get it? I'm anxious. Inquiring minds want to know. I'm using the rest of my sample here. This is the Lancome, and this is my Sills Booster XL, which is my all-time favorite eyelash primer. There is one available in the drugstore now, made by L'Oreal, that is fairly similar. It's oh god, I showed it in another video. I think it's from their Voluminous or whatever, the Voluminous, I can't even talk today. Anyways, if you look in, I think I showed it in my last, no, I showed it in my first L'Oreal One Brand Get Ready With Me live. Because I gave a demo of it on the best way I thought to get color out of colored mascaras, and I showed that, and boy does it work. So if you want to get, if you've got a colored mascara, like YSL's got one that looks really pretty right now, that's like a maroon color, I'd love to have that. And I think they have a blue one as well. And if you're putting those on your lashes, even if your lashes are black and you're going, dang, you know, this is not worth it, I'm not getting the color payoff I want, get a white primer. Or you could even use, it won't show up as well, but any primer will do. Stila, I just purchased theirs. They have a lash building primer that I wanted to try because theirs is, it's kind of a blonde taupey color, you know. Because sometimes having white eyelashes can be a real pain in the ass, because as you can see, they're white, and if I don't, you know, get mascara on every surface of that white, especially when you're looking down on me, then you can see it. So I thought, oh, it'd be fun to try a primer that isn't white. But I'll tell you, this works great for making color stand out in colored mascaras. Put 2 coats of primer on your lashes, and not only will it make your lashes way bigger and thicker and longer in volume. But it'll make the color stand out. I mean, look at my lashes now, you guys. Seriously? That's this right here. This is my favorite primer. Look at my lashes. They're touching the tops of my eyelids. Technically, I don't even need falsies. Not that I ever wear them. Matter of fact, I just purchased some. So I'm going to be trying... Oh my god, I'm literally sweating. It's so hot in here. I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming. Oh, it's so hot in here. I don't know about you guys and where you live in the world, but I'll tell you one thing. I'm sick and tired of this heat. I am damn done with it.
There ain't nobody there.
You know, believe it or not, smartass, I can see that. But on top of it, people watch this after it's live. So you don't want to talk as if nobody's there, because then when people watch it later, never mind. You get the point. I'm just going to put some of this. I have a fur now. Ugh. Just going to put some of this brightener in my eye and see how that looks and if it makes a difference. This is by NYX, I think. I'll look in a second. This is NYX's Faux White in White Smoke. It has kind of a purple tinge to it. The lavender, I should say. Did anybody purchase the, today, Too Faced released, well, at least its early release on Sephora. The peach matte palette. Anybody getting that?
Let me see.
Don't, Bree. Come on, get off the desk, honey. You're knocking this. Let you see what?
Your eyeballs.
Well, just a sec. Let me finish. I tried to get Bree, just for you guys so you know, I tried to get Bree to come in here and sit down with me.
I was busy making dinner.
Oh, bullshit. You could have done this too. I tried to get her to come in, sit down with me, and both of us play with the palette together, but she refused.
Had I done that, we wouldn't be eating until 11 o'clock at night.
Uh-huh. Now I'm just putting some of the primer on my bottom lashes. Just wait a second, and you'll be able to see it as soon as I get my mascara on. Because you know, every eye look, well, not every eye look, but most eye looks look like absolute crap until you have mascara on. Or falsies if you wear. I just purchased some falsies from, oh god, what's their name? Is it Violet Voss I ordered? Oh hell, I don't remember. I purchased one of Violet Voss's eyeshadow palettes. I'll have that coming up eventually. I've got a lot of eyeshadow palettes coming up. Oh my god. I've got still got to get the Jaclyn Hill one out, and we're going to have that giveaway. I promise you guys that's going to be coming within the week. I promise. Because I know a lot of you have been waiting for that. And then I've got a whole bunch of stuff from Too Faced. And we'll be doing and I've got a massive Sephora haul. Oh my god, you guys. I have a Sephora haul that's probably about, I would guess about $3,500 or so. It's several together though. It's not, you know, it's not all one shopping trip. Even though I go bonkers, I don't go that bonkers. And it's got all kinds of stuff, skincare, high-end, luxury, and then I've got a bunch of Nordstrom's hauls coming up with Charlotte Tilbury, Tom Ford, and all kinds of goodies there. Oh, and I just placed an order with GRWM, my first time ordering with them, and I'll have the Skinny Dip palette, I'm using the Hypnos Drama. This is also a little sample. I need to get full sizes of these. I just love them. It's by Lancome. Love their mascara. They have a new mascara I'm dying to try. Anyways, I also got from GRWM, I think the Skinny Dip highlighter, which I never should have purchased because I have a feeling looking at it, there's no way in God's green earth it's gonna work on my skin tone. I should have purchased like citrine, I think it is. Oh well. And I also purchased several, I think all of their lip toppers because I want to try them out. You guys know me, or if you've been following me for any length of time, you know me in metallic lips. Okay, so there's one coat. So that'll be coming. Oh, and I also purchased a few of their liquid lips just because I wanted to try them. I've never tried them before. And then, of course, I will be having the Dose of Colors, Desi Perkins Luster Looks collab. And I did purchase the entire collection. For what reason? Honest to God, I have no idea. Because looking at it, I'm getting yelled at now. Looking at it, I don't know that there's very much in the collection that is going to work for my skin tone. But nonetheless, since I bought them, I will be showing those to you guys as well. And showing you how they look on pale, ghosty skin. Oh, my battery's almost dead, so we're just about done anyways, aren't we? Don't you dare get up there. So anyways, so this is my first time working with this particular palette. Again, I've worked with the ABH palette before, only once before, my girlfriend's, but this is the first time working with this exact one here because this is mine now. I decided to go ahead and purchase it and see if I could work with it a little more and maybe get something out of it I liked. I really liked the way this look started. I just think I tried to push it too far and it went to hell in a handbasket. But that's just my opinion. You guys can tell me what you think. Okay, now, excuse me. I mean, I like the colors and stuff. It's not as blended as I want. That is for damn sure. I purchased this Hourglass, but I think this is not... No, don't like that. Hourglass has a bunch of lip products I want to try. This is their Extreme Sheen High Shine Lip Gloss in the color Primal. So I think I'm just going to go back to the Sugar Honey Shine by Fresh. It's a really pretty color. Like I said in the beginning of the video, this reminds me of one of the Dose of Colors collab colors. I think it's called More Creamer, Please. So maybe if I can wear this, maybe I'll be able to get away with it. But I don't know if they're similar. It just looks similar. But I love the way these feel on the lips. They're a little costly, but boy, they give you color and you get some prettiness. So anyways, there we go. But, you know, it is definitely not blended. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I do not like the way it looks, and no matter how much, you know, at the very beginning when I was blending it, you saw it was blending real nice, and then it just stopped, and you can see I'm missing now, you know, that pigment was solid. I packed it on there, and I did not go over it with a brush, and you can see this whole, I don't even want to touch it, but you can see this whole area right here is now missing pigment. So, my lash is worn in the way. Looks like over here too we're missing some. It's not as bad as this side, but you know, the colors are pretty, and I just don't know if I like the way that I don't know. I'm gonna keep playing with it and before I make a firm decision, because I gotta be fair and really try and work with this palette, because it's a pretty palette and I'd really like to figure out a way. But I have to find, that's the key. It's not just finding out how it works, finding out how to make it work for you. Because, you know, if you're used to applying makeup a certain way, it's really hard to change that, you know. Anyway, so that's it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed seeing me kind of muck up my eye look, but if it wasn't for the blending that is going on here, I'd be happy with it. You know, the blending and the missing of color here, but other than that, you know, when my eyes are open, it's pretty hard to tell that there's a problem because it's hidden by my severe hood, so that's good. Yay! Anyways, I'll see you guys later. I've got more regular videos coming. Oh, that just makes me so mad. So those will probably be, I'll probably have one posted tomorrow and then the next day as well. And those are my Nordstrom hauls with, I've got stuff from MAC, I've got stuff from Dior, I've got stuff from Tom Ford and Charlotte Tilbury, I believe, coming. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. And then we'll get going on all the other stuff. I love you guys. I hope you're doing great. And thanks for joining me on this little try me out. Love you. Bye. Have a great day, you guys. Love